David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney+. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney+ every night.
Tonight, breaking news. 2 U.S. fighter jets shot down by Iran. An urgent and dangerous rescue mission now underway after an American F-15 fighter jet was hit by enemy fire. Both crew members ejecting, one rescued, the other still missing. Dramatic video is circulating online showing U.S. military aircraft swooping in, searching for that missing American. Some of the rescue aircraft reportedly coming under fire. Iranian state TV aired these images showing pieces of the damaged plane and one of the ejection seats, urging Iranians to hunt down the pilots and turn them over to the regime. And tonight, news just coming in of a second U.S. aircraft, an A-10 Warthog, also shot down by Iran. That pilot safely rescued. Martha Raddatz is standing by with new reporting. Tonight at the White House, President Trump's national security team briefing him on those downed fighter jets. The president asked what he would do if that missing pilot was harmed, how he responded. And it comes just days after President Trump downplayed concerns about Iran's capabilities, saying Iran has, quote, no anti-aircraft equipment. And tonight, this war is escalating with new attacks on infrastructure ramping up across the region. We have team coverage tonight. Also breaking, an elderly woman stabbed to death while walking her dog in Florida. What we're learning about the suspect's alleged confession. Tonight, millions are on alert for a 1-2 punch of severe weather, a tornado threat from Texas to the Midwest, and heavy snow up north as the busy holiday travel weekend gets underway. The incredible rescue at sea, a boater waving down the Coast Guard on top of a sinking vessel. Frightening moments caught on camera. A little boy attacked by a coyote. His terrified mother rushes in. The astronauts on the historic Artemis II moon mission talked to ABC News what they said about this extraordinary journey of a lifetime. Overseas, Pope Leo carries the cross in a Good Friday procession, the first pontiff to do so in decades. And America strong tonight. A young man waging his own battle against cancer chooses not despair, but generosity to make sure other kids like him have a happy Easter.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis in for David tonight. We begin with that breaking news. 2 U.S. fighter jets shot down by Iran, sparking an urgent and dangerous rescue mission. An F-15 fighter jet downed over southwest Iran. 2 crew members ejecting, one rescued safely. The search continues for the second pilot. Video posted online shows U.S. military aircraft swooping in as part of the search and rescue operation. Black Hawk helicopters also taking enemy fire with crew members injured. Iranian state TV airing these images that they claim is the wreckage from that downed fighter jet. A short time later, a second U.S. aircraft, an A-10 Warthog that was providing air support for the rescue team, also hit by Iranian fire. The plane later crashing in Kuwait, that pilot rescued. Tonight, President Trump is getting briefed on these developments in Iran by his national security team. We have team coverage tonight. Our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, leads us off from Washington.
Tonight, a dramatic and dangerous mission as American combat search and rescue teams urgently look for the missing crew member of the fighter jet officials say was shot down inside Iran. The first time Iran has successfully downed a manned American aircraft since this war began. 2 F-15 crew members ejected. One was rescued earlier today, according to officials, and is now safely out of Iran. But no word tonight on the fate of that second crew member. Multiple military rescue aircraft swooping in, searching the area. This C-130 seen refueling 2 Black Hawk helicopters in video posted on social media. Another video showing a plane scanning the Iranian terrain. But the Iranians aiming directly at the rescue aircraft, shooting down an A-10 Warthog attack jet, although the pilot made it to Kuwait, where it crashed after he safely ejected and was then rescued. And 2 Black Hawk helicopters were struck by Iranian fire during the mission, with officials telling us crew members were injured but now safe and outside of Iran. It has been more than 18 hours since these images, credible yet unverified, were released by Iranian media showing parts of what appears to be the Air Force F-15 Strike Eagle in the western part of Iran, including this image of one of the ejection seats with visible damage, a burnt swath of land showing where the jet likely crashed. The jet has markings consistent with the two-seat fighter aircraft from the 48th Fighter Wing in Lakenheath, England. An Iranian news broadcaster announcing the crash of the aircraft and telling Iranians they would be rewarded if they captured the pilots alive and turned them over to the regime. State TV airing video of Iranians searching for the pilots shortly after. All U.S. military pilots are trained to evade capture if they are forced to eject in enemy territory. Casey Talbot flew F-18s for the Navy.
Once these aviators hit the ground, their training kicks in. And this training is from SEER School, which stands for Survive, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape.
The pilot and weapons systems officer in the back seat would eject just milliseconds apart and should have landed in generally the same area. A transponder would guide the rescue teams to their locations. So the fact that one has been rescued and the other is missing is unusual.
It's a very dynamic situation, and I can't predict the means that caused them to separate, but I can assure you that both individual aircrew are prepared for these types of situations and certainly wouldn't have separated intentionally unless there was a need to do so.
It was just last week, dramatic video circulating online showed an American F-18 fighter jet narrowly dodging an Iranian surface-to-air missile, according to a U.S. official. In early March, an F-35, the Pentagon's most advanced stealth fighter, had to make an emergency landing after being struck by Iranian fire. But just this week, President Trump claimed in a prime-time speech that Iran no longer had the capability to shoot down U.S. aircraft.
They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force.
But clearly, Lindsay, Iran does still maintain the capability to shoot down American warplanes, with two destroyed today, that fighter jet and the A-10 that was helping with that search and rescue mission when it was hit, as well as damage to those Black Hawk helicopters, but extraordinary and courageous work by those rescue teams. Lindsay?
No doubt about that. Martha Raddatz, thank you. Tonight at the White House, after multiple briefings, the president reportedly declined to say what he would do if any harm comes to that missing pilot. As the war escalates, gas prices are surging here at home. Here's our senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang.
Tonight, with the sensitive search and rescue operation underway, President Trump's national security team huddling at the White House, according to a senior administration official, briefing the president throughout the day after the shoot-down of U.S. fighter jets. In a phone call with The Independent, Trump declined to comment on what he would do if that missing pilot is harmed, saying only, "We hope that's not going to happen." But tonight, the war is escalating and oil prices are surging. Americans paying on average more than $4 for a gallon of gas. The president has blasted NATO allies for refusing to join the war, telling other countries it's up to them to break Iran's chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz.
They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on.
But tonight, a reversal. The president now saying the U.S. can open the strait without explaining how, posting, "With a little more time, we can easily open the Hormuz Strait, take the oil, and make a fortune." And just days ago, the president suggested military spending should be the priority over some domestic programs. And tonight, President Trump is officially asking Congress to boost military spending by 40% to $1.5 trillion, the highest level in modern history. And Lindsay, the president's budget plan also calls for eliminating key health, housing, and education programs. This plan could add trillions of dollars to the federal debt over the next decade. Lindsay?
Selena Wang from the White House, thank you. This war is certainly escalating, with all sides ramping up attacks on infrastructure across the region. ABC's Britt Clennett reports from Jerusalem.
Tonight, missiles lighting up the skies over the Middle East as Iran and the United States escalate attacks on key infrastructure. Civilian sites also hit. Iran saying U.S.-Israeli airstrikes ripped through a prominent university in Tehran, video showing flames still burning inside. And extensive damage to Iran's 100-year-old medical research center. The Director General of the WHO saying that since the start of the war, the WHO has verified more than 20 attacks on healthcare in Iran, resulting in at least 9 deaths. Meanwhile, Iran's forces not letting up, striking a desalination plant and oil refinery in Kuwait. It comes 24 hours after the U.S. struck this critical bridge linking the city of Karaj with Tehran. Iranian state media saying more than a dozen were killed. And tonight, new satellite images showing the destruction at bases hosting U.S. troops in the region. At least 365 U.S. service members have been wounded since the war with Iran began 5 weeks ago, 13 killed in action.
And Lindsay, more reports of heavy bombing in Iran's capital, Tehran, tonight, and the regime firing back towards Israel. Lindsay.
Britt Clenity in Jerusalem, thank you. In Florida, an elderly woman killed, stabbed 16 times while out walking her dog. The suspect's alleged chilling confession has investigators now looking for a motive tonight. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, authorities in Florida investigating a brazen daylight killing after an elderly woman was stabbed 16 times while walking her dog. The Martin County Sheriff's Office has deputies rushed to a neighborhood in Stewart, just south of Port St. Lucie Thursday, to find the suspect with a steak knife still in his hand.
He was still actively stabbing when our deputy pulled up in his patrol car.
The woman rushed to the hospital where she later died. The suspect, identified as 25-year-old Kirsten Francilis, making his first court appearance on a premeditated first-degree murder charge, where prosecutors say he calmly confessed to the killing. And when asked to describe the victim, they say the only way he could identify her was that she was Jewish. Tonight, authorities are working to determine a motive. They say moments before the stabbing, Francilis, who lives in a nearby neighborhood, was going door to door, asking for the location of a bank. They don't believe he knew the victim at all.
At this point, this appears like an extremely violent, random act of violence.
And Lindsay, authorities would not say whether this is being investigated as a hate crime. That suspect being held without bond tonight. Lindsay.
Morgan Norwood, thank you. Millions of people are on alert tonight for a 1-2 punch of severe weather this weekend. Tornadoes and powerful winds ripping through the heartland, and winter storm warnings in effect. Some areas bracing for ice and snow from Wyoming to Michigan. WABC Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg is tracking it all for us. What's his forecast looking like, Lee?
Lindsay, second straight day, middle of the country getting hit very hard with snow and ice and severe storms, and the snow and severe storms are only separated by 200 miles. We have active tornado warnings south of Peoria. The tornado watches were extended to include more of Illinois and Indiana. Severe thunderstorm watches to the south. Winter alerts to the north for several inches of snow and an ice storm, Wisconsin to the UP of Michigan. The storm is going to be rough tonight. It moves eastward. Still more snow in the north tomorrow and more severe storms getting to Detroit and Dallas by the time we get into Saturday. Ohio and Mississippi Valley could be up to 6 inches or more of snow. Minnesota into parts of Wisconsin, icing into Wisconsin, and we'll watch this rain move the I-95 corridor for Easter. Lindsay?
All right, some rough going potentially ahead. Lee Goldberg, thank you. Next tonight, our interview with the astronauts on board the Artemis II mission to the moon, what it was like to blast off and what they're looking forward to once they make it closer to the moon. Our Gio Benitez spoke with them long distance.
For the first time since they blasted off, we got a chance to talk to the Artemis II astronauts in space.
We all wanted to give a shout out to our families first because we are pretty far from Earth and we have not gotten to say hi to them yet.
Jeremy, I know this is your first time in space and you're surrounded by all of these space vets. What's it been like for you that this is your first mission there?
It's just such a tremendous place to be. The views are extraordinary. It's really fun to be floating around. It just makes me feel like a little kid.
As you can see, it's tight quarters inside the capsule. What does sleeping even look like?
Sleeping here is it's actually sort of comical. Christina has been sleeping heads down in the middle of the vehicle, kind of like a bat. Victor's been up where Jeremy is right now. He's got a nice little nook wedged in there. And then Jeremy has been stretched out on seat 1, and I've been sleeping under the displays just in case anything goes wrong. It's more comfortable than you would think.
Integrity, good engine, good control.
Overnight, Commander Reed Weissman and the crew executing that translunar injection burn.
Velocity of the spacecraft ticking up.
That broke the spacecraft free of Earth's orbit.
When we got done that burn, we just kind of looked at each other as a crew. There is nothing normal about this. Sending 4 humans 250,000 miles away is a Herculean effort, and we are now just realizing the gravity of that.
The team sending back these incredible images of the Earth.
There's nothing that prepares you for the breathtaking aspect of seeing your home planet both lit up bright as day and also the moon glow on it at night.
Pilot Victor Glover with a message for all of us.
We call amazing things that humans do moonshots for a reason, because this brought us together and showed us what we can do when we bring our differences together and use all the strengths to accomplish something great.
And Lindsay, NASA says that the crew finally got to talk to their families today and that they are preparing for Monday's historic trip around the moon. Lindsay?
Need that good news. Gio, thank you. Overseas tonight, Pope Leo with a bold show of faith in Rome on this Good Friday. The Pope personally carried the wooden cross along all 14 stations of the cross at the Colosseum. It's the first time in decades the Pope held the cross for the entire procession. A new jobs report blows past expectations tonight. New data shows U.S. employers added 178,000 jobs in March. The unemployment rate ticked down to 4.3%. The leading sectors increasing their payrolls include healthcare, construction, transportation, and logistics. When we come back, take a look at this drama in the Atlantic. 5 people, including federal agents, get help from above when their journey turns upside down. Also, a parent's nightmare, a little boy slammed to the ground by a coyote. Officials say the same animal has done it before. And a warning for eye drop users tonight. The government says millions of bottles may pose a danger. Next tonight, dramatic images from the waters off Puerto Rico's northern coast. 5 people, including 3 federal agents, in the Atlantic after their boat capsized Tuesday night. One of them sitting on top of this vessel slammed back into the water by a 10-foot swell. Everyone was rescued ultimately by a Coast Guard helicopter and suffered only minor injuries. In California, a frightening trip to grandma's house captured on video. 4-year-old Solomon yanked to the ground, then bitten by a coyote. It happened Tuesday in Carson. His mom just steps away. Solomon is expected to be okay despite multiple puncture wounds. Wildlife officials say the coyote was captured and euthanized. DNA confirms the same animal attacked another child this year. When we come back, millions of bottles of eye drops pulled off shelves. Details on the massive recall affecting major retailers. To the index, a recall affecting more than 3 million bottles of eye drops sold by major retailers, including CVS and Walgreens. The FDA says the products may not be sterile. The voluntary recall also reveals they may cause temporary adverse health consequences. The drops are made by KC Pharmaceuticals. So far, no comment from the company. More information is on our website. When we come back, a young cancer patient proves even in the darkest times, kindness blooms.
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, sponsored by Consumer Cellular. See how much we can cut your bill.
Finally tonight, America Strong. A 12-year-old shows a hospital what hope looks like. Tonight on this Good Friday, a remarkable gift from a young man with cancer. But in the shadow of illness, Nathan Ewell created light. He spent much of his childhood fighting a battle no child should have to face. Stage 4 non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Treatments and long days that blur into longer nights at this hospital in Anchorage, Alaska. But he chose not to look backward at what he's endured, but outward toward others still in the fight. His wish was simple, to make Easter feel like Easter. So Nathan had an idea, make Easter baskets and give them out to the kids at the hospital. Word of Nathan's big idea started spreading. With the help of his family and community, Nathan raised more than $2,000, enough to make an astounding 124 baskets, surprising the pediatric unit at Providence, Alaska Children's Hospital, Alaska Native Medical Center, too, and the Pediatric Infusion Center at Providence Cancer Center. Tonight, the families there tell us they're grateful. The Capelli family.
Thank you, Nathan.
The hospitals and infusion center, grateful too.
Thank you, Nathan.
You made so many kids happy this Easter.
Just one of Nathan's nurses, Sarah Preheim.
This is amazing and very inspirational.
And joining us too.
Hi, my name's Nathan. My name's John.
Nathan, there on the right, his younger brother John on the left, with their message this Easter.
I want to bring joy to kids in the hospital. I hope it brings them joy. We hope everybody has a happy Easter.
Thank you, Nathan, and thank you so much for watching. I'm Lindsay Davis. Have a great night.
David Muir, the most trusted anchor in America, the most watched anchor in America. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir the #1 newscast in America.